Hi lovely, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, my name is Hilda Gloria. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome. Hit the red subscribe button down below so that you are notified when I post new videos. Now, as you have read from the title, I'm going to be telling you what documents you need, as soon as you get in Italy and where to get them. Now, a friend of mine asked me, she recently moved to Italy and she's like, okay, now that I'm in Italy, what next? Because when you go to, let's say, different bureaucratic offices, they'll be like, can I have your fiscal code? Can I have your codice fiscale? And she's like, what is a codice fiscale? Nobody really talks about what next, like your next steps after moving to Italy, what you need, what you will be needing, and what you will be needing that for. So that is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Your next steps after moving to Italy. What documentation do you need for you to legally live and settle in this beautiful country? Before I forget, I'd like to tell you that I have videos of how to get a Schengen student visa and a Schengen work permit for you to enable you come and live legally in Italy. So if you would like to know the requirements, updated requirements of what you need to come and legally live in Italy, I have those videos and I'm going to link them down below in the description box for you to go and watch them. I think one is titled requirements for a Schengen student visa for you to come to Italy, and the other one is, I think, getting a work permit in Italy. You can just search for those on my channel, or I'm going to leave them in the description box below. You just go ahead and click on the link and follow them. Now, the first document that you need once you step your feet in Italy, I'm going to have a chronological order, reason being that once you have one of them, they help you get to the other documents as well. So I cannot start, let's say, from a residence card or an ID card, or what they usually call a carta d'identità, if you don't have a codice fiscale or a fiscal code. So I'm going to start from like the basics, I think, in order of how I got them and how they helped me navigate and make my life easy and be able to enjoy bonuses and everything else that I got as a resident or as a person that legally lives in Italy. The first document is a fiscal code. Now, what is a fiscal code, or what is in Italian it's called a codice fiscale. Now, you get that from the Agenzia delle Entrate. I don't know how to say that in English, it doesn't exist. You get it from the Agenzia delle Entrate, or you can get it online. You can apply for it online. Things have changed. 9 years ago when I moved to Italy, you could only go to the Agenzia delle Entrate, but now there's two options. You can get it online on Fisco online. How amazing is that? You get to fill in the form. There's a form that you fill in and you pay 50 cents. That is a marca da bollo, which is like a ticket for you to get it. And then you show, of course, your ID. Of course, they will ask you to show your previous visa if you have just come to the country, the visa that you got from the embassy. So it is safe to go with your passport as your document. Take your passport. If you are a European citizen, just take your national ID and then they will give it to you. It is very simple. What happens is that they give it to you right there because it is like a formula. Your date of birth, your surname, name. There's a way they play with the digits that you give them and the details that you give them, and give you a long code, which is your fiscal code that traces all your financial movements while you're in Italy. So all your incomes, expenses are going to be traced by that number. That is like your financial ID when you are here. So if you're exchanging money, or it is asked for everywhere, basically every single place. So when you go, let's say to the post office and you would like, let's say, to buy to pay a bill, and you don't have a national ID, an Italian national ID, they will ask for your fiscal code. If you go to the pharmacy to buy drugs or whatever and you don't have a medical card, they will ask for your fiscal code. If you go to the bank to open up an account, they need a fiscal code. If you need to send money abroad, they need a fiscal code. If you need to buy a SIM card, they need a fiscal code. So they need this document, and when you get it, keep it safely, please. Once it is, you're given a sheet of paper when you go to the Agencia delle Entrate, after, you know, they've given you the code, and a week after the card arrives, it is green, so it arrives and you will have that. It is for life, it doesn't change, thank goodness. So that is one document that you get that you don't have to renew, and it's the first one and one of the most essential ones. Number 2, when you get to Italy, you need to be legal. Even though you might have, let's say, a 1 year or a 5 year like visa from the embassy, you need to get what they call a permit of stay. In Italian, that is called carta di soggiorno, permesso di soggiorno, excuse me. So it is a permesso di soggiorno, which is permit of stay. You get that from the questura of where you are. Now, if you come to Milan, like where I live, you go to Questura di Milano. So usually when you fill in a form, there's a form for everything. For every document you will need to fill in a form, and the form is in Italian. There might be a little bit of translation in French and English, but most of them are 100% in Italian. Anyways, that's not for you to worry. There's usually somebody to help you fill it in. You get that, you get the kit from the post office. A kit has all the forms. It's about 50 pages that you need to fill in your documents, where you're coming from, your name, surname, if you know anyone in Italy or not. That shebang, you go to the post office, fill it in, and then you hand it to the post office, and the post office will tell you what questura to go to, or which police to go to. Questura is a word for police, so which police to go to, and they will give you the address and the date. So that is like booking an appointment, and when you go there to your appointment, make sure you carry all your documents. I'm going to say all your documents because I know when you're coming in, all your documents are, let's say, a house contract, where you're living, your passport with your visa and everything, if you have any medical insurance, everything that the embassy asks for you to get a visa when you're coming into the country, carry it to your appointment in original forms. Don't forget your bank statement. If you guys would like me to make a video of how to apply for a permit of stay, either online or in person, you can let me know, and I can prepare a very detailed video with every requirement, how to get it, how to fill it in, and all that. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, you need a permit of stay for you to live legally in this country. Also, if you are, let's say, sick and you need to go to the hospital, they will ask for your permesso di soggiorno, permit of stay. If you, let's say, get in trouble for anything, whether it is I don't know, somebody is disguising themselves to be you, or I don't know, if you make any mistakes, driving mistakes, or I don't know, walking mistakes, or whatever your offense might be, whether you did it or not, the first thing they will ask for is your permesso di soggiorno, permit of stay, or your ID. So a permesso di soggiorno, once you get it, it saves you from the stress of having to walk around with your passport, which is a very important document that you do not want to have all the time because you might lose it. So yeah, if once you have that, it is fair, it is safe for you to, you know, start working with it, or have like a photocopy and all that. Usually the appointment takes, usually after you go to your appointment, it takes about a month for you to get the permit of stay. But yeah, you get it from the Questura di Milano, or Questura of the place where you're living. Next document, which is very important, is your medical card, or what they call the tessera sanitaria. Now, with the tessera sanitaria, do you remember the order of the documents? We started from the fiscal code, then we went to the permesso di soggiorno. Now, for you to get your carta sanitaria, or the medical code, you need the 2 documents. So you need your permit of stay, and you will need your fiscal code to get the carta sanitaria. You get it from ASL, which is ASL. If you Google it, you're going to find the nearest one next to you. So you can go there. They have usually opening hours. Pay attention to the opening hours and the opening days so that you don't miss. It's better to go there early in the morning. It's the quickest process out of all the documents you have to get in this country. The line might be long, but once you get there, you're getting it there and then. Basically, what you need this for is to be able to access free medical care, basically in Italy, whether you're going to a hospital or whether you're going to see a doctor. It also enables you to get a GP, which is a general practitioner, a personal family doctor. a personal doctor for you that you go to whenever you are sick, to see you and to prescribe some medicines. If you need to, let's say, have a surgery, this is the person that they will contact first and ask for all your medical history, because they do keep a track of whatever is happening to you once you get here. So you get that once you get to the ASLA, you are asked to choose a doctor from your address, depending on your address. So you will be given a list of about 10-20 doctors, and you will choose the one that you prefer. I just, looked at the names when I was choosing, and googled them a little bit to see where they had worked, and just made sure that I choose a doctor that had worked in sub-Saharan Africa, because in case I came back with a disease like, let's say, malaria, that they are not very well used to here, I needed somebody that has experience with that and could actually give me the proper treatment. That is the only reason and the only criteria I used to choose my GP. So once you choose the doctor, you fill in a form. Everything here fills in forms. You fill in a form, sign, and you are given a sheet that has a code and the doctor. So once you get home, they send the information to the doctor that we have, let's say Hilda, who is going to be your patient. She lives here and blah blah blah. In case she contacts you, this is her fiscal code. So yes, you get it from there. Students, you cannot get a medical card. Reason being, you do not pay taxes, you are not working. So up until I was a student, up until I checked yesterday before preparing for this video, you cannot get a medical card. Foreign students have to get medical insurance that you will pay for, and that will be talked to you about when you're getting the permesso di soggiorno, which is the previous document that I talked about. But yes, in case you're sick or like you're ill, your university should be able to, have a process. I got sick when I was at university in 2016, and the university was called, and because I was paying like medical insurance, which was part of a tuition, something was done, a letter was written to me, and I was able to access free medical care from a hospital. But yeah, you cannot have this card. This card enables people that pay taxes to have access to free medical care. Next is the Carta d'identità, or what I would call a national ID, the Italian national ID. Now this was, I think, the most difficult of all of them. This was the most difficult and the one that took the most time for me. I think it's because of the process. Anyways, the requirements are you have to have where you're living, a house, an address. Basically, you need to have an address. Therefore, you have to be, let's say, renting, or you own an apartment, and the owner or the landlord has to go with you to the comune. Now, a comune is a different place. I don't know the name in English. I don't even know how to call that in English. It's like, I don't know the name in English of a comune, but you go to a comune, that is a word in Italian, and you go with your landlord, or a letter from your landlord, letter of consent, your house contract, and then permesso di soggiorno, of course, codice fiscale, carta sanitaria, for you to get this document. So usually when renting out a house, it is very important to ask your landlord if he gives residenza, because if this person doesn't give you a residenza, that means he cannot sign for you to be a resident at that particular address, because that means that is where they're going to be sending all the taxes that belong to you. So it's very crucial for you to know that in the beginning, before you rent out any apartment or before you find any space where you're staying, basically. Yeah, so because the Carta d'identità, the national ID, heavily depends on that. So it's very important for you to find that out and ensure that you meet the criteria. But what is needed is the previous documents, and you have to take your passport as well. And also the ID of your landlord or the person that is hosting you, and a letter of hospitality. I remember what made it so long is that it was online. I did mine online, and I received my appointment about 9 or 10 months later. Yeah, so basically once you fill in everything, attach everything that they require, all the information is online. Even though it's in Italian, you could just click on translate, and it's translated to a language that you prefer. But that was the process. I applied everything online, scanned everything and attached it, and 10 months, either 9 or 10 months later, I received a date that somebody would come and visit my apartment. So somebody is sent from the community to come and visit your apartment to see if it's big enough to accommodate all the people that are on that residence. So when the person came, they asked me a few questions. What is your name? What do you do for a living? I was a student then. I said I'm a student. For how long have you lived here? Can I see your passport? Can I see your codice fiscale? Just to make sure that the documents I provided are real and not like fake or stolen from somewhere. And then he was like, that's okay. He signed another form. There's usually forms. He sent another form, and a week later they sent me an appointment to go to the biggest comune in Milan to go and receive my letter of residence. So when I received my letter of residence, I paid 10 euros for the card, and then 10 days later I went and received the card. Now, on that card are 2 numbers, the 2 digits that are very, very important, because currently they're giving digital ID cards. They're not giving the paper, the booklet that they used to give in the past when I just arrived. Right now it is digital cards. There are 2 numbers. Now those numbers are the passwords to your digital ID, which is very, very important. I didn't know that until 2 years ago when we had, you know what happened, everybody, 2 years ago. So 2 years ago when I needed to log into like the sanitary system in Italy, and I needed those numbers. So do not throw away the envelope that they give you with that ID. Luckily I still had it, and I was able to fill it in, so I was able to fill in all my information and get whatever I wanted. So it's very crucial that you keep the envelope. It has got something special. It has got 2 passwords that you need for your digital national ID. Another document that just became popular, I don't even know if it was just introduced or became popular 2 years ago, is the SPID. Now you get the SPID from lots of vendors. You can get it from the post office, you can do it online, you can apply online. You can also use a telecom company. For example, if you're from TIM Italia, or if you're Wind or Iliad, they can apply for a SPID for you. However, it is very important for you to note that you need the medical card, the Carta Sanitaria. You cannot get the SPID if you don't have the Carta Sanitaria. Of course, with all the other documents that I talked about, you need all of them for you to be able to get the SPID. Now the SPID is like your digital, let's say, portfolio. It has got every single information about you, where you have lived, where you have worked, if you've been sick, how many times, which hospital did you go to, your ID, where you're from, if you have family. It is like a digital, I would say, ID or portfolio that has all your information. So once they click in and put in that code or the number, it shows all the information about you that they would like to know about you. Your fingerprints, everything is stored on your SPID, and it's a digital platform. So yeah, these documents are going to help you live legally, peacefully and happily in Italy, because it is frustrating for you to need to do something or apply for a bonus or apply to even, like, let's say, further your studies, and they're like, we need a SPID, and you do not know what your SPID is. It is very annoying. Or we need like a Carta d'identità, and you don't know it. Carta d'identità is a very essential one. It is needed for you to get the permanent residency card. If you don't have it, don't even bother. If you want to apply for citizenship, you will need to have residency, and you will need to have a residency card. So it is very, very important that you get these documents. They are essential. I would say you need each one of them. Like, you can't live without any of them. You need all of them. So that is it with all the documents that you need and the further steps once you get into Italy. I think with these documents you can survive a few questions and a few processes, bureaucratic ones, I mean. That's it basically from me. If you have any other requests, put them in the comments below. If you have anything else to add, I'll be happy to read it in the comments. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.